All right, now help us make sense of what has happened in American politics. We're being joined by Mr. Spencer Critchley, who's a political analyst and former communications advisor on the Obama campaigns and the author of the book Patriots of Two Nations and Why Trump Was Inevitable and What Happens and Next. He's joining us live from Monterey in California. Now, Mr. Critchley, let me in fact start off by asking you this. The electoral victory that Donald Trump has managed to capture points to a major realignment of the entire demographic setup in the United States of America. You know, population and communities that had not voted Republican before are now voting for Donald Trump. What do you think explains the fact that Hispanics, blacks, the Arab and Muslim communities are all now voting for Donald Trump? These are communities that had earlier been voting for the Democrats.
I would not say that the entire communities are voting for Donald Trump. There has definitely been some motion towards Donald Trump, which is very significant. I think that this points to the cultural shift that's been underway in the United States for decades now, and which has accelerated rapidly under Donald Trump, and we're seeing it happen across the world. I think that Democrats have been struggling to understand this shift all the while it's been happening, as well as what are sometimes referred to as moderate conservatives. I think that what it is not just in the United States, but in democracies across the world, a great many people are turning away from liberalism, the underlying philosophy for all democracies, which is, of course, the Enlightenment era doctrine of individual freedom and equality, rule of law, pluralism, etc., and towards much more ethnic and religious nationalist visions of running a society. And these two visions are not compatible. Now, Democrats, and as I say, conservatives who also believe in liberalism, can bemoan this, but I think they have to recognize that it's happening and get much better at responding to it, because I think that very often the argument for liberalism is made intellectually, while the argument for these various forms of nationalism is much more emotional and much more persuasive to a great many people.
Right.
So people believe, for example, Donald Trump is a strong leader and who will do better for them on the economy. The facts show otherwise, but facts don't win elections.
You know, it's interesting that you say facts don't win elections, but this is how a lot of people are looking at this election. Donald Trump, earlier this morning, when he was asked what were the big issues for him, first, he said, is the problem of illegal immigration, and second, he said economy and inflation. You ask the Democrats what are the two big issues that they ran the campaign on, they'll say one is the issue of abortion, the question of abortion, and second is about saving American democracy and stopping the descent into authoritarianism and fascism under Donald Trump. The question is this: if you're putting this as a question between choosing between saving American democracy and giving the choice to the American people that they can get a better opportunity in their life by improving their standard of living in a booming economy, if you were to look at it rationally, what do you think the American people will choose?
Yes, and I think that's an excellent point. We want to believe that people are deeply committed to democracy, and in the United States in particular, the essence of the country is democracy. America was founded as the world's first liberal democracy. It's not an ethnic homeland, unlike many other countries around the world. It's not like Japan or Germany or France or many other countries you can point to, which are the ethnic homelands of a particular subset of the population of the world. America, as the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher once famously said, is an idea. And that idea is liberal democracy. Now, the trouble is, what we run up against is, to a great many Americans and a great many people in democracies elsewhere, that's an abstraction that they don't care about as much as they care about how they're doing economically and whether or not they feel safe. And in every election, prosperity and safety are always the two key issues for voters. I think Democrats have gotten worse at politics, especially during the post-World War II era, and have tended to lose sight of that. Now, I think it was important to make the argument for preserving democracy because it really is at stake. And this is a truly alarming period in world history, in my view and the view of many others. But you can't win elections just by saying we must save democracy. There are far too many people who are just going to vote based on what they see as the immediate self-interest of themselves and their family, especially if they feel either that their economic or physical security is in danger.
You know, very quickly, you've been a former communication advisor for the Obama campaigns. To what extent do you think Kamala Harris was hobbled because of the fact that she failed in putting distance between her campaign and Joe Biden's presidency?
I actually have kind of an outlier view on this, and I think it was a mistake to run from the Biden administration. The actual record of Joe Biden is extremely impressive, and I'm confident that history will show that. Yes, inflation did spike. It spiked around the world, however, and he brought it down faster than anybody else in the world and produced an economy that's actually been far better than the Trump economy and really one of the best we've ever seen. However, those are the facts. That's not the way it feels to lots of people. And one of the reasons it doesn't feel that way, I would say, is that Democrats are too ready to run away from what they see as a bad story or a story that doesn't poll well. Something they could learn from Donald Trump is, no, turn towards it, lean into it, claim your actual strengths. Trump will do that when the facts are absolutely not on his side. He'll claim he had the greatest economy ever when it's absolutely not true. Democrats, I think, are far too reluctant to stand and fight on solid ground.
You know, this is an issue that I think the Democrats will have to do some soul searching on. The facts are, as the Democrats keep claiming that the economy was doing well, but the Americans, especially the poorer and the middle class, were struggling to put food on the table. And that is perhaps what may have been the decisive factor. But thank you very much indeed, Mr. Spencer Critchley, for joining us and getting us that perspective there. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.